So we're gonna get started. Obviously, the Smash community is kind of blowing up right now. There have been, for those of you that are unaware, there have been allegations of sexual misconduct by a handful of very prolific figures in the Smash community, which has kind of triggered just a larger, I don't know, maybe awakening. People are starting to discuss their stories. A lot of things that have been kind of buried under the rug are starting to come to light. And this is echoing throughout the entire community. And it's going to change, this is going to change Smash forever. And I honestly personally think for the best. And a lot of us right now are distraught because a lot of people we looked up to have made some mistakes, have made some really bad mistakes that they're going to have to live with the consequences of. That's not even to say like what the victims are going to have to deal with for the rest of their lives. It's a very complicated subject, but it's important that we talk about it. House tour reveal when? Yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough. I mean, these people are people you look up to, and you expect them to be just of a higher standard than most people because they're community leaders, you know. So it's always really difficult when stuff like this comes to the light. However, and you may be thinking it's like a bad day or a bad week for Smash, and certainly getting this news is never comfortable to talk about this kind of stuff. But this stuff exists in the real world. It's, you know, I mean, the FGC has been kind of coming out with all these stories lately, but this has existed for the entire time of human existence. Women have been subjugated, and children have been subjugated since the dawn of human time. And we are just now in the 21st century starting to get some like real signs of like equality. And sexual misconduct has just been prolific always, and we now have the chance to fix that. And now that things are coming out about these people that have done some wrong things, obviously a lot of people have pitchforks and torches out right now, but there's a way we can improve the community and just everyone overall. You know, we need to be discussing this. We need to be figuring out how we can prevent stuff like this from happening. And this is something that needs to be addressed. I mean, if we want to become, if Smash is to become like a legitimate esports, this is something we're going to have to address, because this is just a breeding ground for bad things to happen. You've got adults and kids in confined spaces alone. I mean, it's, you know, a breeding ground for bad things to happen, especially for example, you've got at events, you've got hotels, and minors are not able to get their own hotels, so they'll often have an adult who's like, you know, 19, 20, 21 get a hotel, they'll room, and then obviously this 21, 22 year old, they're in college, so they just kind of want to party with their friends, and that can be a slippery slope, because you've got basically college level parties with alcohol and drugs in vicinities where there are children. So obviously you've got underage drinking, and everyone's making bad decisions because it's just not a good setup. And so rather than getting to the point where people have been hiding these things for a long time, and they eventually might come to light years later, like we're seeing, we need to just prevent these things from happening in the first place. And that's about accountability and responsibility for not just community leaders, but everyone. People need to speak up, and we all need to make sure that everyone's safe. I think as something that is, it's so cool with Smash, because Smash brings in people from every religion, every color of skin, different beliefs, different political beliefs, different genders, different sexual orientations, different ages. It's really cool because it makes it even for everyone, you know. A 60-year-old man has the same footing as a 15-year-old girl in this game. They can still play, and it's on equal terms, right? As you get older, your reaction time might decrease, but largely, Smash is a very equal game. I've seen a quadriplegic play at a tournament and take some matches. Dude had no arms, was playing with his mouth, and he figured it out. I think that's awesome. I think that's super cool about Smash, is that it brings people that typically wouldn't associate with each other together, which I think, I don't know, I think having diversity in a community like teaches everyone to respect each other more. So like it's difficult to see this stuff happen in a community that has such potential to really bring people together. But I think if we're gonna realize that potential, we really gotta start changing the way we look at the game. Like in our community alone, I would say maybe like 60 to 70% of the people in our community are underage, under the age of 18. We've done our best to try and make it like accommodating, but there's always more we can do, and I think we need to take it seriously. Everyone needs to take it seriously. So let me get caught up really quick on comments. Smash is open-hearted and we shut down this dude because yes, exactly. It's a tragic moment, right? We've got a lot of beloved figures that it's coming out with what they did. But the thing is, like, that was existing before. It was existing before, and if we can change it to where there's a lot more pressure and a lot better rules for keeping that kind of stuff from happening, that's how we really flourish and become like the community we can be. The potential is unlimited, and it's really, really awesome, but we need to address some stuff. So I guess to talk about low tier gaming specific things, our sponsor, there have been allegations of sexual misconduct by the staff on the company of our sponsor. And it's very unclear at the moment exactly what happened, because right now we've got someone on Twitter saying something. He has yet to release a statement, but in order to kind of preserve things, we found it in our best interest to sever ties with that sponsor. This obviously comes at a bit of a financial loss, and we have also had to take down all of our videos on YouTube, since we were basically displaying the brand. So we want to like make a legitimate cut. Yeah, I didn't want to name names specifically, but yeah. And it's complicated, man. Like, we don't know the full story. If you want links to the Twitter allegation, just ask around. I'm sure you'll find it. But when the person that is being accused of these allegations releases a statement, I will make sure that is posted in LTG. As of now, we've essentially cut ties with them. I don't want to ban them or anything. If you guys choose to unfollow, leave the server, etc., that's totally up to you. I'm not necessarily going to encourage it. I want you guys to make that decision for yourself. Because there are a lot of people out there right now that are probably getting falsely accused of stuff. And right now people are in pitchfork mode. So I mean, there's going to be some people that are wrongly accused. I think Gimmer right now is being like trying to be outed, and I don't know. So I would say to everyone out there, just do your research. Don't jump to conclusions, right? And please don't like threaten people online. Like, I understand they may have done something that you find abhorrent, but it's not necessarily your place to threaten them. or don't add to the problems. I guess is what I'm getting at. I know we're not all adults here, but we should try to act like it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know that came as a huge surprise to us too. I didn't expect this to echo that far down to like our community, right? But it has, and we've got to take responsibility. We've like I said, we've cut ties with them, like professionally. Just don't go harass him. Please do not go harass him. He's probably this could be career ending for them. They could be financially bankrupt. There's going to be a lot of damages from this, and not to say that if he did anything, like, it's not somewhat deserved, but like, I don't know. It's complicated. Yeah. Please do not harass anyone that. Yeah, it's not. I'm not gonna say it makes you just as bad, but like, don't go harassing people online, especially if like there hasn't been a court case delivering a verdict, because a lot of it's just hearsay from Twitter, right? You've got these 80 character or 100 character statements, and people are just going to accuse people to get attention, and there's going to be a lot of that. Like, obviously there's a lot of people coming out telling their stories right now, and that's super important. There will be the occasional false accusation, so it's important not to just take what you hear and think of it as fact. Please do your research when it comes to like the reputations of people, because this stuff is going to change a lot of people's lives. Yeah, exactly. And hopefully, I don't know. I mean, for those that committed these type of things, which are, basically child predator level stuff. I don't know if there's necessarily any coming back from that in this community, but we can do more to prevent that from happening. It's on all of us, it's not just these people that did it, right? Those aren't the only people at fault. We've got people that enable them, right? If you are a friend of someone and you see something strange happening and you don't speak out about it to that person, even if nothing's happening, you gotta ask, you gotta check in, you gotta make sure that your friends that you trust wouldn't do that type of stuff. You gotta make sure they're being honest and they're not making mistakes, things that they, in a better mindset, would not decide to do. It's incumbent on all of us to really point that out. Yes, I would say innocent until proven guilty is a very... We always want to, like, to a degree, to believe the victim. We never want to say out of hand that anyone that's like a victim of a crime, or at least they're claiming, we never want to say they're a liar. Victim shaming is like a really real problem. But it is important to look at what evidence you can find before making the verdict that someone committed some kind of heinous crime. There have been history. In fact, okay, to go on a bit of a tangent here, I'm going to tell you guys about the massacre in Tulsa. I struggle to figure out what year it is. I want to say it's in the 30s or the 20s. And there was what they called Black Wall Street. They had a lot of African American owned businesses in one area that was doing really, really well. But this is an area south of the Mason-Dixon line in the 20s, which there were a lot of lynchings in the 20s. And so the racial tensions were kind of high in this area. There were a lot of vindictive whites that saw the success of this black community growing, and a lot of them wanted to do something about it. And one day, a black business owner was in an elevator with a white lady, and allegedly he had tripped over the entrance to the elevator, and he kind of fell into this woman. And she later had an allegation that he tried to rape her, and he really had just stumbled and tripped. And this lady had gone out and said that he had raped her. And this caused a massive backlash. Even though it didn't happen, a lot of the whites in Tulsa got really angry about this, and they stormed and burned the entire Black Wall Street. All these businesses were just burned. People were killed. I think there were 120 people that were killed, 1,000-ish that were injured. And it was a race riot over an allegation that turned out to be false. And this destroyed thousands of lives. And it was racially motivated. And so there are two sides to this, right? There's always two sides. Some of these may be false or somewhat, blown up. So, like I said before, it's important to largely trust the victim, but you need to look twice at everyone's perspective. Because some things may just be as simple as a miscommunication between two people. One person thinks it's rape, the other person just thought it was a misunderstanding. And this stuff happens a lot. And even between those two people, there's a lot of ambiguity. So, it's difficult to get an exact picture and what to believe. It's a tough subject. I would just ask that you guys stay kind of open and balanced. But we need to make this a more open and inclusive place. Let me get caught up on comments real quick. Just gotta keep on. Anyone is capable of evil. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really sad. No, and it sucks, man. I think last month there was an increase in racial crime. I think there were 4 or 5 lynchings last month. In June of 2020, there were lynchings in this country. We've got a lot of problems, man. We've got a lot of problems we gotta address. And doing little discussions like this, it may seem small, but it's the way to get started. We gotta get people talking about it, because there's a lot that's going wrong with the world, and the only way that those wrong things happen is when people are bystanders. When people see something bad happen, they may be a good person, but they're allowing bad things to happen. And so in a way, they're complicit when they could have stopped it. You know what I mean? And it's difficult to be that person to start that conversation. That's not easy. But the key is being aware that this stuff is happening so you can see it when it happens. That's the first step. Yeah. So, okay. Useless until used correctly, yeah. Okay, let me... What the heck? Oh, okay. Let me just make sure I'm on track with this. Okay, we're about 25 minutes in. Okay, so I guess we should shift sort of towards what we are going to do at LTG to kind of address this stuff. I propose that we change all the ranks in the main low-tier gaming server to say, rather than samurai or daimyo or whatever, I think those should be made clear, like crew member, server admin, Twitch admin, stuff like that. I think that if we make things a little bit more clear about who is what, people will know, okay, that's an authority I can talk to. Because, for example, let's say someone is getting sexually harassed by DMs, which is the big culprit, DMs. And let's say the person met the person that's being harassed, right? This person met this person in our server. And even though technically them having a conversation outside of us is not necessarily our jurisdiction, it's kind of our responsibility to make sure that we're not harboring people that are harassing other people. So we need to make it easy for people to come forward about stuff that's happened. I think there needs to be a private channel instead of just a public one, because a lot of the things that deter people from coming out about things that happen to them are barriers. Like, for example, they may be friends with the person and they don't want them publicly to get destroyed, because for a lot of these people that are getting outed right now, it's career ending, it's life changing, it's life ending almost. And you know, you may have this person that is harassing you, but you don't necessarily want to go to the level to destroy their entire life. So a lot of the time, people will not come forward about that kind of stuff. Same thing in marriages. I mean, like, let's say you're married to someone that's beating you all the time, and you otherwise love them, and you have children, and you need to keep things together. That's a tough spot, because, like, if you go to the police about the dad being violent, the kids no longer have a dad, and you also have, like, potentially cut, I don't know, maybe a source of income, or depending on what the dad does. But, like, it's not as cut and dry. It's not easy for people to come out about things that they've had happen to them. So we need to make it easier for that kind of stuff to come out. We need private channels. We need people that are designated people to be, like, referred to. Let me check the comments really quick. Well, my thought, as opposed to having, like, a channel, I like where you're going with that, with the channel, but that's a public thing, right? And it can become really intimidating for people to come out publicly. Whereas, let's say we're using that DM example where someone's harassing someone else in DMs from the server. If that person that's being harassed can then go to a mod in the server and send them a DM and be like, hey, I'm getting harassed by this guy, we can then kind of help create a barrier around that person, because we can be like, okay, that guy is clearly harassing people. We're going to ban him from our server so he stops doing it to other people. That may not happen if it's public. You know what I mean? I would say they need a private lane to go to, a hotline of sorts, where they can talk about things that, you know, people have, like, harassed that person, that only the mods can see. Possibly. We can make it so people can't see the history of the chat except for the people that are mods. That might make sense. I don't know if there's a way to do it to where you can view your own comments, because I feel like for a lot of people it would be very off-putting if they sent something, like a long message, and then they just couldn't see it. I will have to learn more about that. I only know so much about, like, the Discord software itself. So I'll have to learn how to make that, but that might be a way we do it. We either need, like, a channel that isn't public, that you can submit things, like a anonymous tip line. Yeah, we either need a channel or a designated person, mod, etc. I can test some things. Okay, I like that idea. We will get something going. I think we should have a deadline of Sunday. Yeah, go for it. I'll make that your. Yeah, you can do that. I like that idea, and I appreciate you taking initiative on that. That's awesome. Okay. I think largely I've covered most of the stuff I want to. I think we all can do more to make sure that we promote a good environment. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. I'm gonna hop in the general voice chat in the LTG server. So if you guys want to come in and ask questions, we can talk about it. If you don't want to necessarily talk, but you have a question or a recommendation, I strongly encourage you to use the Twitch chat, or at the very least, we can do general. Just type it in general. So I'm gonna move to the VC. All right. So I've moved to the general VC. Yeah. So I guess at this point we're doing questions, comments, concerns. Yeah. So please, I guess, feel free, speak out, talk, questions. Also, if you have any stories you want to share, even if it's not necessarily related to someone harassing you in Smash, or even yourself, if it's something you witnessed, if you want to talk about it, we'll just have an open air right now. The next 30 minutes or so, we can just talk about that stuff. So, whip de wop. I'm sorry, that's funny.
Got him.
Got him. All right.
Yeah, I have more of a question about the basically thing I was talking about earlier with making thing the mainly supposed to have to be like people can type stuff in there, mods can check it out and DM about it, because I don't think they'd be able to see the message mod as well. So basically, it I don't know how much it would help.
Yeah. I
So,
think maybe, okay, so I think to accommodate having it, whatever method we use, we need a sort of hotline to the authorities of just, it doesn't even have to be sexual misconduct. It can be just general harassment. Like someone's like, I don't like how you play Sonic, and I'm gonna DM you a bunch of times until you like respond or whatever. That stuff needs to be covered too. I mean, it doesn't just have to be like sexual nature. I think for LTG, that's more of what we're gonna encounter. I don't think people are gonna be like, yeah. So we need to have a sort of channel for people to, I don't know, talk to the authorities of LTG. I think we need to make a code of conduct that we all agree on. It doesn't necessarily have to encompass everything, but I think it should be a basic, like, if you're gonna be posting an LTG, like in the Discord server, or you're gonna be hanging out on the Twitch with us, if you're gonna be doing any of this stuff involving LTG, we are going to require a certain code of conduct. I think we need to go over everything that we think is a bare minimum for conduct for the community. And I think we need to make it to where if you go to our Discord server, you need to, as we were talking about earlier, view and read all of the terms and conditions in order to view the entire server. I think that should be a new requirement. Dark Angel said that there was a way you could basically you write a document, right, with all the terms and conditions in it, and you bury a password in there. So it forces people to read the terms and conditions, and then they can use the password to get a bot that lets them see all the channels. I think that's the most like practicable way to go about like forcing people to read the rules. I don't necessarily think that the rules being there are gonna stop people from being bad people. Bad people don't care about what the rules are. They're gonna break them. But I think we need to make it clear, like, this is gonna be enforced here. And I think it'll at the very least make them think twice about it, right? The fact that they have to go through the hassle, like, we're actually gonna enforce it here. So I know this might just push a pedophile to another Discord server, but I think the more places that they're shown that, like, they're not welcome, that kind of behavior is not welcome, I think we'll discourage it long term. Duck, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can make it so people can't type for like 10 minutes-ish or something.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they join the server. So you can just also do that and make sure that once 10 minutes are up, you can ask them the password, and basically just an extra layer of security.
Okay. Maybe. My main thing is that we would have to force them to read it. A time limit might be too much, especially if we're doing like a tournament or something. I think that might be. I think for every step of the way, we'll probably vote on it. Like we'll have we'll make a full list of all the things we could do, and we'll vote on it. We'll be like, I think that's too much. That's good. We'll keep that one. I think we'll just make a list of all the changes we might make, and then I think it should be community-wide. We'll vote on each of those items and make sure it's like approved. I think, yeah. I wanted to keep codes of conduct outside of the general community. I put some for the crew because they're more of a face for LTG, but I think in light of recent events, I think it's important that we establish that we're going to take a stand on this. I think everyone should be doing their part. Because I think largely we just need to discourage this stuff from happening in the first place. I think that's the only way to get it to stop. I think trying to punish people in retrospect, I mean, sure, that they get punished, but instead of it just not happening and someone's life getting ruined over it, multiple people's lives getting ruined over it, we just need to stop it from happening. We need to just discourage it and call it out when we see it. We need to call it out. Obviously, like, it's an uncomfortable situation to see, like, weird shit going on and then call it out. Because no one wants to be a tattle. But, like, I don't know. I think it's just something we need to take a little more seriously than we think we do. We can always do more. So, yeah, I think this week we need to have a lot of discussion on what makes sense for LTG. Obviously, I always am hesitant to put rules on people. I think the less rules that you're forced to live by, the better. And I think generally relying on common sense is the best way to go. But I think given the circumstances, we need to put a hard rule on a lot of these things, just so that it's clear that we're not cool with any kind of that conduct. So, yeah. Do you guys have anything that you'd like to add? Any stories, thoughts, feelings? I know a lot of people are kind of. This is tough for everybody. Hey, raffle ticket. What's the community? Yeah, I definitely think so. I think this needs to be talked. Okay. Rose is gonna say something. We'll give her a minute. Let's see the post in general. We had a Xeno join. Hey, Kanto Kid. Good to see you, dude. Have you, I guess, because I just explained everything, have you been following the news lately? Like Smash news? Like, are you aware of what has kind of happened in the general Smash community? And then I think Rose's comment, or is, dang it.
Yo, Owen, can you hear me okay?
Can you say that again?
It's me, Hacker Cop. Can you hear me okay?
What's up, Hacker Cop? Let me turn you up.
Yeah, I'm doing alright. So, I've been wrapped around with a lot of news lately and stuff, and yeah, it's difficult,
Yeah, it's difficult, man. Oh, I think we lost him. Did we lose him? He cut out.
No, he left. He left the VC.
Yeah, he'll probably be. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, he's back.
I was talking and something happened, so I think my Discord was open.
Okay, well we can hear you now, so go for it.
As I was saying, I'm sorry about that, Owen. I got cut off there, but
no, it's all good.
As I was saying, so yeah, being in, it's tough being in a tough situation, so we gotta clear the air and stuff, we gotta, so yeah, I agree with what's been going on. It's been crazy. Reading what Nairo said, he seemed pretty honest about his mistake, and he wants to, but like we're never going to forgive what he did, because what he did was wrong, obviously.
Yeah.
So But yeah, just coming forth, yeah, just it's crazy. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy year,
Yeah, it's
in general.
yeah.
So
Just when you think it doesn't get any crazier, it
just when you doesn't get exactly,
yeah,
it's that's my point. It's just I'm just been hearing what I've been watching the stream, been hearing what you're saying. I figure I gotta step into the voice chat, say something.
yeah,
It's like I just cannot be silenced anymore. I gotta
yeah.
come forth, say some stuff. So yeah, hopefully, and if anyone out there who has had trouble, like we got counselors, we got we got local people that can help.
Th-
We like all kinds of situations whenever it's harassment or suicide, any of those. Like
yeah,
there's people out there that can help you. Reach out to those people.
yeah. Actually, you
There's
bring it.
people that can help.
Not to cut you off, but you brought up a really good point that I want to talk about before we move on. Um,
Right.
you bring up a really good point. There are resources, and we need to make sure that we find them. Let me write
Any
this down.
resource possible.
Resources, because okay, I'll be honest. I've had I see your comment, Rose. I'm gonna get there in a sec. I have had conversations with people that have had like issues with suicide. We even had a former member who was having issues with suicide. And I did my best to talk him down, and he's still around, so that's good. But yes, this is, yeah, lots of people are having troubles, and I think I think we should make the resources front and center. I think we need to have like the national hotline for
Exactly.
suicide. That needs to be like in the start here. Like we need to have all of those resources with numbers and websites.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need to get all this stuff to where it's like easily accessible, front and center.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, get some resources, get something, like, even if it's local, national, like, it don't matter. Like, get something out there, so that way, if someone has an issue with somebody, they can just reach out to them easily.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we need as a small barrier to entry as possible. I think we might post some like local and national numbers and websites,
Absolutely,
but
yeah.
I think we also should have like a committee of LTG people that are dedicated to helping people talk through their problems. I know that can get kind of hairy really quick because obviously like I don't know, it gets tied to LTG, and people giving not necessarily the best advice in hard times can be kind of a problem. But I don't know. I think it'd be better than not having anything there. Yeah, I don't know. We might have to talk
It's up
about
to you.
like
Whatever you want to do. I just for my opinion's sake, I would just like make a new channel, post, all kinds of like this is what I would do if I were to, like this is just from my perspective. You can do that if you want, Owen, but I'm just saying, that's up to you. What you or the crew want to do.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take as much action as we find would be like actually beneficial. Like, and here's the thing, I think putting up like the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number,
Right.
I don't think it does any harm, but it might help someone. There's the chance that it might
Yeah,
help
exactly.
someone, and I don't think there's too much to like detract from that. So I think that certain things might be best like handled by a friend. Like, I just need someone to talk to, right? It may not even be like I've got someone in my DMs. It may just be like I am stuck at home and I'm isolated and I'm having suicidal thoughts. Maybe not even like actual like any kind of plans on it. They're just not in a good spot and they need a friend to talk to. Like, you know what I mean? I think even
they need like actual help. Exactly.
Yeah, something that's not even as much as like getting professional help, so much as just like having a friend to vent
professional
to.
help, right?
I think that if we were to establish a channel for that, that might be. We're gonna have to talk about that. This is gonna have to be a longer conversation, I think, than we have for today. But we're gonna figure something out that makes sense. So I wanna move on to what Rose said. She says, I'm an avid person against abuse of any sort in any sort of community because I am one of the most shit on communities and I think it's unjust. I am willing to do anything to help prevent the spread of injustice in any sort of situation. From fighting game community to IRL, I will be there to help out. Awesome. You might be the head of our special forces committee to help people out. Let me get comments on Twitch real quick. Okay, yeah. So I guess briefly, Kanto Kid. There have been allegations of sexual misconduct by a lot of top commentators, players, and figures in the Smash community. And it's rippling down. A lot of people are coming out about their stories and experiences with sexual misconduct and just, general harassment. And a lot of stories are coming to light. And we're kind of getting caught up on a lot of bad news. And so we've got a lot of bad news flooding in. Oh, sorry. I figured everyone should be able to hear it. Sorry. If you want to type something out and you don't want me to read it out loud, specify at the end, please. Otherwise, I'm going to plan on reading this all out because I think this needs to be a discussion amongst all of us.
Really needs to be addressed for sure.
So Kanto Kid, this actually did affect our sponsor. An allegation came out about our sponsor, and I don't necessarily know that they're true at this point. The person that is being alleged to have done certain things, he's been really nice to me. I have no, he doesn't seem like that type of person to me. And so we always want to, give the victim some sort of, what's the term?
Some breathing room?
Well, I would say we want to give them some legitimacy.
Benefit
don't
of the doubt.
To make, decisions right off. We want to be
you want to give them some sort of benefit of the doubt, right?
Yes. However, I think at the moment the safe thing to do is to cut ties with them. If it comes out later that it was a false allegation and it's been proven in court, we can revise that. But I think for the moment we're gonna sever ties with High Five Anime. We're going to remove any of their imagery from our streams. We've deleted all of our YouTube videos that contain the HFA logo or any kind of branding for them. We've removed all of our Discord stuff. So yeah, it's a big issue that's affecting on a large scale and on a small scale. It's making national news. It's trending on Twitter. It's not outside of Smash. It's the world is watching at this moment. And there's a lot of bad press about Smash right now. And a lot of people are kind of upset about it. A lot of people are quitting the scene altogether. 2020, this is gonna be remembered years later.
It will definitely be remembered. 100%, it will be remembered. I will never forget this year. I said, I know you didn't hear me say it, but I've said this to myself before many times. 2020, I don't know what it is, but 2020, it's gonna be a crazy year. And you know what? And I think we were all right about that. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. We got there's still a raging virus going on out there. I mean,
yeah.
There's no way this year isn't going to be taught in history books
really
years down the line.
It's an election year. We've got several potential wars that could pop up. There's a lot of really, really bad shit going on. But
the virus,
I don't know.
Everyone is
I said the virus stuff.
Hating each other.
Yeah. The economy,
stuff they can't control. The economy's
right?
dying.
Unemployment hit 20 something, I think, 18-20%, which is
it's still rising, and unemployment's still rising too right now. It's still rising.
Cases are still rising. It seems like, and especially because we can't go to tournaments. There's all our engagement with each other is limited to online.
everything's just shut down.
Everything's
Everything's
shut
just
down.
Like
It's
still
frustrating,
shut
man.
down.
Like it's a very difficult time, and I think it's important that we like really stick together, more so now than before. And yeah, we just need to make a way that we can all share the space together without this kind of stuff happening. So yeah, I guess largely I wanted to brief everybody about the High Five Anime situation. Obviously it's difficult to turn that, shut that down because that was our only source of revenue. So now,
Yeah, it was a sponsor, for crying out loud. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a sponsor. I mean, that was a nice.
yeah, it was a good deal. But we're gonna put our ethics first. I think that I would rather it take a lot longer to build up the money we need to get things going, than to do it the wrong way. I think we need to have integrity. And we need to make sure that like we're doing it right. Yeah. Rose graduated from home. Like, 2020 has been a rough year, and I think now more than ever we need to make sure that we're not leaving each other. Like, there's gonna be an exodus from this. There's gonna be a lot of people that leave Smash simply because of like one or two people's actions. There's gonna be a lot of people that, the Smash scene is getting a lot of flack right now for not being on this. So I mean, we're taking a hit, but I want you guys to think of this as not a bad thing. This can be a very good thing because there's not necessarily any more of this stuff happening today than there was yesterday or the day before, right? But the difference now is that we know it's happening. It's come to light, and people are able to talk about their stories. And this is a good thing. This is the only way we would be able to change all of these things happening is by physically talking about it and addressing it. Because if this didn't come out, we wouldn't be talking about it right now. We'd be doing practice like normal, Instead,
Yep.
We're talking about the situation. So like, it seems very gloomy because the subject itself is very difficult to swallow. But this is something that needed to happen. This is a growing pain that the Smash community needs to go through if it's going to be a legitimate, franchise with, kids that are 13 that aspire to play with people that are pros. It's a really awesome thing that Smash can do and can be. And it's also a breeding ground for bad things too. And we need to make sure that we don't let that happen to our community and our game. And it's on all of us, not just me, not just the pro players. It's on all of us to inspire a culture that has a higher standard, for our friends and our peers. So, yeah. Let's see.
Can I talk
Hey,
about
Venom. We're about to wrap up, but thanks for showing up, buddy. Yes.
Dang.
Okay. I guess before I get going, I guess I'm gonna have to fill in for Gibbs for practice. Is there anything anyone else wants to say before we close up shop here?
I had something to say, but it's very long-winded, so I don't know if now.
No. Go for it. It's an open mic. Go for it.
Man.
All right, guys.
Go for
This
it. Yeah, we're
is
here for you.
Pichu Main speaking his mind.
Oh. So this is probably a hot take. I don't think a lot of people share this opinion, but everything that's going on right now, I'm not saying that we should forgive these people or that we should legitimize what they're doing. I'm just saying that what's happening, what I'm seeing, both sides is awful. The whole thing with these people getting canceled is not the right way to go. I'm not saying like these people. I'm not saying these are good people that you should aspire to look up to anymore. I'm saying that these people's livelihoods, their families, anything they've ever had is now gone. It is absolutely destroyed.
Oh,
No
yeah.
matter what you do, no matter if they atone for whatever they've done, unless they can handle it like an absolute genius, like a madman, there is no way they're coming back from it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And that's brutal. I mean, Like, especially if any of this is proven wrong, that makes it twice as terrible.
Yeah.
And just seeing all of this transpire, even like the victims of it, their lives are forever changed. I mean,
Yeah.
you could go from just a normal person, like there are going to be a bunch of people who just see these people and say, oh yeah, that was a victim. You will never be seen in the same way, no matter what side you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It changes things forever. And you know, it was a difficult decision. It had to be made with HFA, but like the thing is, like for them, his career is potentially over. His brand is potentially done. He's like, that guy is relying on that business to keep him afloat. I don't even know if he may have debt that he has in order to keep the business running. And so like he may go bankrupt because, you know, he's getting dropped. He may become homeless. He may become a drug addict, and we don't know where this is going to lead for him. And like, obviously it's not good, but the guy's name is tarnished. And even if it comes out that it's not necessarily like the allegations aren't true, it's like that's going to damage him forever. This does affect people's lives, and especially if you look at it, it could have just been a simple case of like a young man who doesn't really understand how boundaries work with women because he hasn't like had much experience, and so they just kind of make a couple mistakes that weren't ill-intentioned. You know, the intentions may have been good, and his life may be over because of these small mistakes. So yes, I mean, that's why we were saying earlier not to harass people that, you know what I mean? Don't be a jerk online to people that are being accused of stuff just because, you know, we all want justice. We all want justice for the people for the victims. But justice can't come
Be fair.
without like, I don't know, it needs to be justice made by justice. We can't do injustices in order to create justice. Two wrongs don't make a right. So yes, well said, Peachy Man. Okay. Is there anything else?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Everything sounds right so far. I think we're agreeing to quite a lot of stuff here. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we all have level heads right now. We're doing good.
And I also want to say, I guess I'm very proud of you guys. The community like support came in immediately, and I saw it, and I've seen everyone being very supportive of each other. I'm very proud to be, you know, I'm very proud of Low Tier Gaming and how you guys have handled this. Let's keep doing it. Keep doing the right thing. I think we're on the right track here.
For sure.
Yeah. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah, I agree. Raffle
Going.
ticket. Okay, with that, I'm glad we had this talk a bit heavier than the normal scenario. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here. I will actually probably upload this video to YouTube, just so that way we have all of this on record. And yeah, we're gonna do our best to make these changes, hopefully within a week, to make our LTG a better place and the Smash community a better place. So yeah, man, this year, wow, that's a good way of putting
wow, I know.
Right.
Man, it's been
Right,
crazy.
guys. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get practice set up, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Thanks for discussion.
No problem.
This needed to happen. So
Anytime.
all right, cool. All right, we'll talk to you later, guys.